I knew what I know now, I would have known that hoes will bring you hoes. You know, to this day, I'll say that shit really wasn't for me, but I was motherfucking good at it. Yeah, what up, P? Welcome back to Mack Stories and Lessons with EK. I'm your host with the most. First off, I want to thank y'all. This is episode 4, man. Whoever been sticking it out through all the episodes, I want to thank y'all from the bottom of my heart. You know what I'm saying? And the name of this one is Hoes Getting Killed. So I'm going to take y'all back to, I think this is like 99 or something like that, maybe even 98. And at this time, I had 2 girls working for me. I always had like 2 to 3 girls working for me. You know what I'm saying? Most of the time, it was 2. I'm not gonna sit up here and lie like niggas, oh, I got 10 bitches and whatever the fuck. You know what I mean? I never had 10 bitches. I never had, you know, all this, a bunch of hoes working for me and no shit like that. At the most, I had 3 bitches working for me, you know what I'm saying? But I always kept 2. But, and it was times I kept 1 and it was times that I had none, you know what I mean? So, but anyway, you know, and I always knew, nigga, the best thing a man could ever do is have a job, homie, you know what I'm saying? So I never just depend on, women or hoes or whatever you want to call them and shit like that. I never did just depend on no hustle, period. You know what I'm saying? I always knew to work. One of my bros called me and let me know that they had some money coming through and that the other bro was going to go ahead and just kind of, you know, get out the way for a minute while she did her date or whatever. So I'm like, cool, let me know if they're, you know, let me know what's up. Let me know if everything is okay and everything else. So I go back to work or whatever. About 30 minutes later, she hit me back talking about, hey, babe, this dude is tripping or whatever. I'm like, all right, I'm on my way. So I cut out of work early and shit, you know what I mean? I hit the freeway. So I smashed straight down to the room and shit. It took me a little while to get there, but when I get there, it's them 2 standing in the lobby or whatever. So I can't hear the words. I can just see that they, you know, kind of arguing or whatever. So when I get up my car, I get up in there, and both of them get quiet. And then she finally say, I'm like, what's up? What's happening? And I look at both of them, and she finally look at him and say something like, you better hope I don't tell him what you did or try to do or whatever. I mean, so immediately I went straight to his mouth, you know what I'm saying? I knocked this, you know, I went straight to this cat mouth, you know, I started whooping his ass, and we're in the fucking lobby. And then finally he said, look, my wallet's in the room or whatever. I'm like, well, you ain't getting that. You might as well get your ass up out of here or whatever. So by this time, the police pull up. So when the police come up, they come in, he's leaking. I'm like, you know what? You know, my people's right here called me and let me know that, you know, she was hanging out with this cat and he was being rough with her, whatever. I came immediately and I started whooping his ass, whatever. And I'm in my work clothes, so they're not knowing there's some game shit going on or whatever. But anyway, they don't know what to think with the girl in him though. You know what I'm saying? But as far as I'm concerned, I'm in some clothes, work clothes and shit like that, so it threw him all the way off, you know what I'm saying? So anyway, while we standing there, whatever, dude finally mentions, well, my wallet's up in the room or whatever. And they like, well, is his wallet in the room? I'm like, I don't know, I just got here. She look at the cop and say, no, his shit ain't up in there. Well, will you guys go look or whatever? So me and the bro, we take off and get up to the room real quick. I'm like, hurry up, let's get to the room before the cops start following us, because I already knew they not stupid, you know what I'm saying? When they saw us both take off, I knew they knew what was up. So anyway, as soon as I get to the room, we find the wallet on the ground. Pick the wallet up, it's about $1,000. You can see, I just see a few hundreds, you know, in a gang of 20s. I snatched that shit out, I put it in my work boot real quick. And as soon as I put it in my boot, they knock on the door. She opened the door, whatever, immediately she hands him the wallet. And I'm like, God damn, shouldn't have did that, but it was probably the best thing she could have did. So she handed him the wallet or whatever, she take it back down to him. And he gets to holler how his wallet is empty and shit like that. Where they like, you know what, ain't nothing we can do about it or whatever. So long story short, they end up taking me to jail, you know, because he's leaking and shit. And when they pull up, they see me fighting this cat. So anyway, they end up taking me to jail, whatever. So I'm in the little cage or whatever. It's a small ass cage, you know what I'm saying? All you can do is just sit in it. And that's where they interview motherfuckers that come in. So they interviewing me and shit. Like, you know, asking me what happened, whatever. So I tell them my story, whatever. So they go through my property. So they pull out the money out of my property or whatever. And I'm looking at it. I never did get to count the money, but as they're pulling my money on my property, they set it up on the thing, and I can see I'm just kind of counting it or whatever. And I'm looking real close. And so I was able to give like an estimate of what it was. I'm guessing in my mind or whatever. So not guessing, but I'm kind of like calculating the money as I'm looking at it or whatever. So anyway, they come back over to me or whatever. So is this your money? Well, I'm like, yeah, it's about this much right here. You know what I mean? I actually cashed my check today. I don't have. It would be more if I had money shopping or whatever. So anyway, they were like, okay, we're gonna put this money to the side. I'm like, damn. I might not be able to get that. I'm still thinking about this money now or whatever. I ain't even tripping off this cake because I already know I'm finna bail out. We gotta bail me out. I got 2 bitches out here. You know what I'm saying? We gotta get Captain out of jail. You know what I mean? So I already know I'm finna bail out. But I'm like, damn, I hope I'm able to keep that money or whatever. So they take my clothes off to put me in a little funny ass style jumpsuit or whatever because you know my work clothes had a gang of blood on it from this clown Lincoln on it. So anyway, you know, I get through that part or whatever. They send me to the jail, so I'm sitting up in jail. I'm able to get to the phone or whatever. So I'm able to call my brother, let him know where I had some money at. He was able to go get the money and then bail me out. So I get up out of jail, you know what I'm saying? But long story short, dude was trying to, you know, rough her up a little bit and all that type of shit, you know what I mean? And I never tried to get people involved in that shit to experience shit like that, you know what I'm saying? And the message in it is, it's not all cookies and cream, young ladies, you know what I'm saying? I know you see a lot of bras or a lot of young ladies online, on Instagram, whatever, talking about they want to get the bag and all that shit, but you gotta remember all money is not good money, homie. It's just really, it's not. All money is not good money. And I say that to say this, man. I can't say names and shit like that, but it's a lot of young ladies coming up missing, you know what I mean? Well, they're not coming up missing. What it is they're somehow involved with the game. You know what I'm saying? And a better way to put it, a lot of people don't want to put it as prostitution and pimping and hoeing and shit like that. A lot of people rather say, you know, they're getting involved with the sex industry. However you want to put it, it's all pimping and hoeing, sex industry, whatever it is. But when you're hearing these stories about these young ladies going to another city and they coming up missing and shit like that, a lot of them are involved with the sex industry. I don't want to say they are for sure because I don't want to disrespect nobody. I'm not going to say no names or anything like that. But my point is this, young ladies, be careful out there. You know what I mean? You hear these stories all the time. And I'm going to keep it real with you. 9 times out of 10, when you hear about the young ladies bouncing up out of town or something like that and they never come back, they come up missing, shit like that, 9 times out of 10, they was involved with the game. And that shit comes with it. A lot of hoes come up dead. Early in my career, fucking with this shit, I never forget 2 girls came up dead. They were some young girls. They found them dead or some shit like that. And a pimp that I knew of at that time, word on the street was they was his bras or some shit like that. Eventually they took his ass to jail, but somehow he ended up back out on the streets. But you know, my point is, it's not all glamour, y'all. You know what I'm saying? People make shit look good. Don't jump into this shit, homie. I'm telling you. You know what I'm saying? And young ladies especially. Now, I'll tell you another short story. I haven't been on Facebook in a while. You know what I'm saying? I just got back on it when I started doing my motivational speaking videos and now this. You know what I'm saying? So when I got back online, I happened to go across my homegirl page. So when I click on it, I'm seeing a gang of RIP, so-and-so. I can't say no names, like I said. And that's a cold thing, too. I'll get into that later. But anyway, I can't say no names. But anyway, RIP, so-and-so, this, that, and the other. So I immediately hit my homeboy, and I'm like, hey, the homegirl's dead? He was like, yeah, homie, word is that she had a date at a room, and dude killed her, and this, that, and the other. And I'm like, god damn, you know what I'm saying? And it's just like, wow, this shit is fucked up. And a lot of young ladies don't get to hear about this type of stuff because the families, when this happens to young people or young ladies and shit like that, those are mothers, those are family members, those are sisters. So they can't put it out there like, yeah, my niece or my daughter was a prostitute and this is that and other. So it's a cold game. So a lot of people ain't hearing the stories and the real deal about what's going on. But I'm gonna tell you something, when you hear about these young ladies going out of town and shit like that, young ladies coming up missing and shit like that, man, a lot of times it has something to do with them getting involved with the gang because it's a cold ass world. Some of these niggas just ain't rap type. It's a cold ass thing. And like I said, when I heard the story about my homegirl, I was able to hit my homeboy up, man, what happened with so-and-so? He was like, yeah, I forgot to tell you that. She died. And this was funny because I hadn't been on Facebook in a long time and she had been gone a year. And I'm like, God, I felt so bad, you know what I mean? And I'm like, damn, you know. And what's funny is I had talked to her prior to that, you know, and she had kind of talked to me about like she fucked with the game and shit like that. And I was telling her, don't fuck with that shit. That shit is not all it's cracked up to be, just this, that, and another. You know, and some months went down the line, she called me up asking to borrow $20. And I gave her the $20, but I was able to, you know, kind of tell her, see, you see what I'm saying? Man, that shit ain't all it's cracked up to be. And a lot of these hoes out here make this shit look good or whatever, but them bitches is borrowing money from somebody every so often, you know what I mean? So And that's why they get dogged by family and all that shit. You know what I mean? When bitches choose or decide they want to go and hoe and get fast money, and then as soon as they run into a jam, they calling and asking for money or trying to borrow money. Family, friends throw that shit in their face immediately. Bitch, I thought you was getting all this money. You out of town, whatever. Look what you got on. This because a lot of times this whole game is an illusion. You know what I'm saying? And that's just keeping it real. You know what I mean? And what I mean by illusion is, you know, I'm the type of nigga, besides all that shit, when shit ain't going right, when my pockets ain't right, nigga, I know how to make broke look good. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to my clothes and shit like that, if I can't run up into the clothing store that I'm used to spending cheese in, nigga, I know how to get sharp out of Kmart. I know how I can go to JCPenney and come up out of there looking like $1 million. You know what I'm saying? So I know how to make broke look good. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so everybody, man, just remember, sometimes this shit is all smoke and mirrors. But to the young ladies out there, be careful. Be careful. There's a lot of niggas out there that ain't cool. You know what I'm saying? Some of them ain't rap type. But you ain't gonna never know that until you in a situation with them that ain't good. You know what I mean? So I wish I could say some names. I wish some of the family members could say some names, but the reason you don't hear the details of some of these cases, you just hear a young lady came up missing. And it's like, what the fuck? That don't even sound right. What happened? The reason because you lost is because the details ain't being put out there. Family can't say, oh, my daughter was a hoe or my niece was a hoe. They can say it, but they don't want to, you know, tarnish their family member's name. You know what I'm saying? So you can't really hear the story or learn a lesson from it. So a lot of young ladies don't get to hear these stories, but this is real deal shit. A lot of these young ladies is coming up dead because these people they think are good clients or shit like that are killing them, and they don't even know. These motherfuckers just ain't rap tight. You know what I mean? Everybody want to get to the bag, but all the niggas trick you. You know what I'm saying? You can buy money. Niggas is on Facebook with stacks holding it up like phones and shit like that, but you don't know if that money is real. You can buy money by the stacks, by the thousands, you know what I'm saying? And it's cheap than a motherfucker. So don't let motherfuckers trick you, you know what I'm saying? So all money's not good money, keep that in mind. But this is to the young ladies most important. You know, dressing less, trying to get attention, but be careful of the attention that you get, you know what I mean? But as far as the girls that's in the game, man, be careful out there. You know, and to the people who always wonder, why do girls do that anyway? It's all kinds of reasons why they do that. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these girls have had traumatic experiences at home. You know what I mean? I knew a young lady whose father, you know, messed with her. I knew another girl whose uncles messed with her. So their moral bounds was crossed involuntarily. So when it comes to doing some shit like having sex with somebody who treats them a little bit nice, you know what I mean, or for money or shit like that, it's easy when somebody who was supposed to love them violated them in a harmful ass way or in a foul ass way. And believe it or not, it's young ladies who fantasize about doing it because they never got the attention that they wanted to get, I guess maybe from their father, I'm not sure, or what it is, just attention period. Some women fantasize about a man paying them for their time, you know, and things like that. And I would never make this shit up. I've spoken to people, I've met these type of women, you know what I'm saying? So I would never make this shit up and just shoot the shit out there. I'm only here to try to help people, you know what I'm saying, and get the best information I can. Like I said before, I don't promote this shit. I'm just trying to give y'all the best information I can because we all got kids, we got sisters and mothers and daughters and shit like that. And you need to know what to look out for and what it's really, really about. Especially the young ladies that's ready to try to pull a move because they're ready to get that bag. They seeing all the young ladies with the designer shit on or whatever, and they're ready to have that shit. And I understand we all want things, but sometimes it's best to just take the longer route. You know what I mean? It's always best to take the longer route, just keeping it real. You know what I'm saying? So be careful out there, young ladies. You know what I'm saying? The game is not all peaches and cream. It's not all glitz and glamour. You know what I'm saying? Young ladies come up dead all the time. Yeah, so that's all I really wanted to say on that one, y'all. Man, I love y'all. Like I tell you on all my vlogs, you know what I'm saying? So be safe out there. Let young ladies in the game, y'all, be extra safe out there and think about what I said. Other than that, catch me next week with another episode. You know what I'm saying? That's going to be episode 5. I hope y'all sticking it out with me. I love y'all. You know what I mean? Mack Stories and Lessons with EK. Catch you next week.